We are back in season 2, episode 2-3, January. Welcome to the Golf Locker Room Podcast. What's going on, y'all?
What's good? What's good? I'm gonna move my camera just for a second.
Okay.
But everything's good on my end, man. Just getting through the holidays. Just thankful to see family and just looking forward to 2022, man. See what it holds.
Yeah. Trish?
Same here. Getting through the holidays, getting through the New Year's, getting ready to get this 2022 kicked off. It's been a different one. My mom's memorial is coming up this Saturday. We put it off because of the holidays, so doing a lot of preparation with that. But friends, family, everybody has been absolutely wonderful. So 2022 is going to be a good one.
It is. It's going to be a good one. And moving on to golf too, like we were saying, I think 2022 is going to be a crazy year for golf. I'm telling you, I was at the range today, packed on a lazy Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Packed. No. I mean, I don't know what this golf bug is crazy, but it's a golf boom. They said it hasn't been a boom like this in 40 years. 40 years where you got so many people coming in, playing. It's just it's a good time to be in golf right now.
Hey, you guys are in larger cities. I'm in the Charlotte area, but you guys being in Florida, being in LA. So when you guys go to the driving range, and like Manny just said, it's packed. Do you have to wait your turn, or how does that work?
Sometimes you get in where you fit in.
Yeah, it depends on the range. I'm gonna say my home range has 20, 25 spots, maybe. Not small, but they can fill up.
Yeah.
And other places that's not my home course, but other places they do fill up, and there'd be people behind waiting. And when we do, I run a golf league out in LA, and when we do our tournaments, it's definitely waiting. We have to get about 10 spots and save them for the members just so they can warm up, because it's no room.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. On the weekends, it's no room. Not out here. Not at any course. Little par 3, janky cow fields packed. $80 courses packed. Mid-range courses packed. The city courses, you can't even, as soon as they come online at 6 a.m. for the LA city courses, because we have a pretty good network of decent city courses. Thursday, a week and a half before your tee time, they're gone. They use bots like like the tennis shoes. Like you get in the rare Jordans, they use the same kind of bots to take the tee times. Can you believe that?
That's crazy.
So you try to get on your tee time at 6 a.m. right on the dot, 6 a.m. and they're gone because they're using bots to suck up all the weekend tee times. And that's been going on for about a year and a half.
That's crazy.
That's how crazy it is out here for
No.
golf right now.
But for us, in my own course, man, I could go out there tomorrow and not make a tee time and drive right up and get on.
Can't try that in Florida.
Yeah.
Can't try that in Florida.
Not in Cali. Nah, that's a wrap. I mean, there's always walk-ons if you're just a single. Like you could get on pretty much anywhere. You'll just get on the wait list, and it could be anywhere from 5 minutes to 30 minutes, but they usually get you out if you just by yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're just gonna be paired with a random 3 or a random 2. So normally you can't get out on your own. You can still get out on by yourself because it's not every foursome is booked. It's some 3s. It's a 2 and a 1, and then they got a dangling 1 that you could fit into. But if you're trying to go out with your buddies, premium.
Yeah, same here. We have a Sunday golf group that we try to get out every Sunday, and we usually get a tee time. We'll shotgun at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, which is wonderful. We'll get anywhere between 24 to 36, out in our little group or whatever. Mm-hmm. And now it's like when we call around, it's 11 o'clock. We can get you out at 11 o'clock. We can get you out at 10:45. And it's like, oh no, we got to get back to football. What do you mean? So it's been real tough, especially because like all the snowbirds are down here. So they're down. Yeah. Everybody's golfing. It's been a task.
Yeah, it's been tough. We do a 24 person skins game. Sometimes get up to 30, but I got 4 people. It'd be 4 people at one time trying to get tee times. And then if they're not playing ball with us, then we just attack the website. We'll have 5 people get like 2 tee times a piece on the website at the same time to book the tee time. So it's come down to tactics. It didn't used to be that way, especially if you want a larger group. It's come down to tactics. Well, you know what? That's good for us. It's good for golf. We say we want to grow the game, and the people I see are diverse. So I'm happy about that. I see women, African American, Asian, Latin. I see everybody out there. And what's good, I'm seeing young people.
Yeah.
I'm seeing couples like 28 to 36. I'm seeing couples out there together playing, and that's great for the game. That's great for the golf business. That means when they have kids, they probably will get brought up in the game. So it just looks good for years and years to come. The only semi thing we're going to start dealing with is land usage, because we have a few politicians out here that don't particularly care or know about golf, and we got a lot of incentives for home building, and they're always looking to suck up some land to build homes. But yet they say that golf uses up a lot of resources. But I'm like, you got people living, eating, sleeping, breathing, showering every day. If you build homes, nothing sucks up more time than that. And it don't matter how many homes they build out here, y'all. It's still too many people. It's still too many people. Right. And the homes they build is starting at 700.
Yeah, easy.
They start.
Yeah, and you talking about 2,000 square foot.
Yeah, that's 2,000 square feet. Your backyard is maybe your backyard. If you're lucky, you're gonna have a 10-foot by 10-foot backyard. I ain't said a driveway. I said a 10-foot by 10-foot backyard. That's enough for a table, a little propane barbecue pit, and that's a wrap. Maybe a little lap dog could run around that. That's it. Starting at 750.
Won't be moving to Cali. Won't be moving to Cali. I'll visit you though.
It's tough. It's tough if you're not already out here, or if you just don't have bread. Then it is tough. It's tough. People say the taxes and stuff like that, but that's not really the issue. It's if you're not already in the market, it's tough to enter the market, and you shouldn't be out here renting, because renting is $2,500 for a decent 1 or 2 bedroom. That's a nice mortgage at a big house anywhere else but here, a few places. But but the world moves on. I tell my kids, you better start making that bread, because that's what it's going to take to do whatever it is you want to do. Be successful. Finish up, get your master's, get a doctor, and then you still got to hustle. Even with that paperwork and them letters behind your name, the hustle's just going to start. So
that's right.
Right. Let's not keep our guests waiting. you want to do a quick introduction, Trish, and we'll bring
We got
on.
both. We got both in.
Let me take a quick look. Let's go to the golf locker room lobby. Yeah, we got both. We in the game.
Woo!
All right,
Yep.
we are in.
So what I'll do, I'll introduce them, and you bring them in as I introduce them, and we'll keep it moving.
Yeah. Let's make it happen.
So golf locker room. We have 2 extra special guests coming in to join us. We're kicking off this the second season, and we have Kendall Murphy. He's the director of diversity, equity, and inclusion of Troon. And we also have Kennie Sims. He's the VP of golf operations with the Tampa Sports Authority. So we wanted to bring him on. We wanted to kick off the new year the right way. Thank you, fellas.
They get applause because it's just a special treat to have both these gentlemen on to start our season off, season 2, 2022. Beautiful. They can hear. I'm sure there was listeners in the lobby just gossiping and talking about all kind of housing prices, boring and all that. But gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on the show. We just love having professionals that's trailblazers in golf, so our viewers can listen and look and understand some of the things you guys are doing and some of the things that's going on, and get a better view and understanding about this great love of golf, and especially minority golf. We're going to make it easy. I'll start from left to right. And Mr. Kendall Murphy, introduce yourself to the guest. Give us a hello.
First of all, thanks so much for having me on. It's definitely a blessing to be in 2022 and to be on this show. So thanks for that. Like you said, Kendall Murphy, born and raised in California, moving to Scottsdale, Arizona here in about a week to continue my works with Troon. It's the largest golf management company in the world, so that helps out a lot there. In my new position as the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for Troon. I've been a PGA member now for over 12, 13 years now, and love the game of golf like we all do on this show, and just excited to be here, talk about whatever y'all want to talk about, and we're going to continue to keep growing this game every day like we always do.
Nice. Thank you. Mr. Kennie Sims, let the audience know a little bit about you and give them a hello.
Thanks. This is our show. And, I appreciate
We got a little audio difficulty. Mr. Kennie. Oh, yeah. Yeah, just a little audio difficulty. It's kind of like, do you guys hear him okay?
I don't hear him at all.
Okay.
Sounds like a Martian.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Mr. Sims, just kind of log on and log back off, and maybe it'll clear up. Right now, we see you good, you look good, but we can't hear you as well as we should.
Okay.
But it's the same link, and maybe that'll reset it, or there we go. All right, Mr. Murphy. So, grew up in Cali, about to get on out there in the AZ. It's nice. I like AZ. And working for Troon. Before Troon, though, tell us a little bit about your PGA career, because that's just phenomenal. That you're been a PGA professional, Class A PGA professional. Yeah, give us a little bit. Give us a little bit about that. We love to have the professionals on.
So, like I said, I've had a blessed career, and I'm only 35, and I've done so much. And I've had the ability to be able to travel the world with golf. Had the ability to be able to go to college with golf. Had the ability to be able to major in golf in college. So it's been a blessing. So I went to UNLV in Las Vegas, Nevada. Was the third graduating class of the PGA Golf Management Program there.
Wow.
still currently the only African American ever graduated from that program, which we're trying to fix that, which is why I do what I do now. So that's one of my missions in life. Then went on to work at such nice clubs like the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs, which is the longest running 5-star, 5-diamond property in North America. Went on to run my own golf course, Metropolitan Golf Links in Oakland, California, which is a municipality golf course in Oakland. Then went to work for PGA of America, doing some financial advising stuff before coming back to grad school at St. Mary's College in California, in Moraga, where I was assistant coach of the golf team, as well as getting my master's degree in kinesiology. And then moving on to ultimately work at UNLV as a assistant director and a program coordinator running the PGA Golf Management program that I graduated from. So basically bringing up the new generation of PGA members. Before leaving there to briefly become a career consultant for the PGA of America. And then Troon came and knocked on the door, and they presented me with an issue, and I presented them with a solution. And lo and behold, I was the solution in their eyes. So my quick comments to them on how they can fix their problems turned into, "Hey, do you want this job?"
Nice.
And after consultation with Kennie, who's one of my mentors, we decided that this is the best thing, not only for me but for the golf industry as a whole. So that's my career basically in a nutshell. And a lot of boards, a lot of service. Kennie and I have been in the trenches together for many years, but we've been really in the trenches recently together for the past 2 years, fighting this battle and getting through things and making sure that the industry is growing and diversity is always top of our list, and we're making sure things are moving in the correct direction. And I couldn't have a better partner in crime than Kenny Sims, to be able to be there with me and guide me. So I can't say enough, but I'm blessed. This golf game, that little white ball has done so much for my life. It's crazy. So it's a blessing.
Beautiful, and we're blessed to have you, Mr. Kenny Sims. Let's see if we can get you going. See what that audio is doing right now.
Do I sound any better?
Oh man, perfect. 105,000% better. Let's give you a little air horn. We're just blessed to have you on here too. Mr. Sims, just give us a brief background and history. How did you get into golf? Tell the audience again hello and who you are.
All right. Well, my name is Kenny Sims. I'm the Vice President of Golf Operations for the Tampa Sports Authority. You probably didn't hear it earlier, but I just wanted to thank everyone on this call for the invitation and the opportunity to not only talk about the game of golf and how we can make the game more diverse by providing more opportunities for people that look like us. But also to briefly share my story. I always want to capitalize on the opportunity to talk to people and to just kind of let them know just the vast opportunities that are out there for us in the golf industry. I was really fortunate. My dad was kind of like a version of Richard Williams. I was born in Harlem, New York. When I was eight years old, my dad put a golf club in my hand, and who would think that eventually I would be managing golf courses for hundreds of thousands of people. I was fortunate. We moved to Queens. I started playing junior golf, started to find some success. Eventually, I ended up in Tampa, Florida, trying out for the golf team at the University of South Florida. And I didn't make the team. I wasn't good enough. And little did I know at the time that, University of South Florida had one of the best golf programs in the country. They didn't have, the only source of information we had at that time was the New York Times, and that was it. And I ended up grabbing a job washing golf carts at Rogers Park, which is, I'll talk a little bit more about Rogers Park later, but all you got to do is look at any social media of Tricia's, and you'll see that it's a pretty special place.
Yes.
And that's how I met Tricia is through Rogers Park and her love for the place.
Wow.
So I ended up washing golf carts, and one day the golf team from Fayetteville State came rolling in to practice, and I literally tried to jump in the van with them. I didn't know there was such a thing as a black golf team, and I couldn't wait to get going. And after I graduated from Fayetteville State, North Carolina, I came back to Tampa and began my golf career. And now I'm managing the 3 golf courses owned by the city of Tampa. Yeah, I've what a blessing, what a fortunate opportunity, because I've met so many millions of golfers over the years, hundreds of employees, and and then tons of people, like bright and intelligent people like Kendall. But Kendall's definitely one of a kind. He's definitely proven to everyone just what an impact that he can make. Not just in the golf industry, by changing people's lives, providing opportunities, but he's a tremendous mentor. I mean, he's connected with people. He's been able to help people turn their careers around. Sometimes with the connections that he has, but a lot of times just by the conversation and the advice that he gives. So I'm really honored to have a relationship and work with Kendall. He's a good egg.
Nice. Let's give the Auburn for your journey, your love of the game, and all your accomplishments. We're gonna just dive right in. We ain't heard from Big Siff. Siff, jump in for us.
Hey guys, it's a pleasure to finally have met you guys. I did some research. You're decorated, credentialed down. So I mean, it's absolutely awesome. With Kenny, I actually looked at a little blurb of you, and I appreciate this piece. Growing up, being a caddy, and then taking those boys to the woodshed, showing them that hey, I can play this game too. So I have a deep appreciation for that type of tenacity, and someone who's come out of the mud and say, look guys, I should be here just as well as anyone else. So I appreciate that. But what I did change gears a little bit. So what I wanted to do was, we have a lot of people who follow us. So I wanted to have our audience interact with you guys. So I took questions from our audience. And so one of the questions for both of you guys, what authorities help to inform your decision making around COVID-19 and operations? Have you experienced situations where the course went beyond to ensure the safety of visitors and members, being we're in a COVID era?
I'll let Kenny go first. He manages the course directly, so.
So, we're still going through a very difficult time. And in fact, right now, I still have an employee mask mandate at all 3 facilities. And, since this whole thing started for us in March of 2020, there was a lot of unknown. Right around the middle of March last year, we made the harsh decision of closing down all 3 of our golf courses, and we had to do some homework, like really, really fast, and find out just exactly what we needed to do to keep people safe. And the decision was easy. Like, first of all, no one's coming in the building.
Period.
Okay, there's no way we're going to make face-to-face contact with you. So we only opened up we created service windows for the dining room, and we only allow one person at a time in the pro shop. And we had sneeze guards in place, and we had all of the golf carts situated where our attendants didn't have to have any interaction with customers at all. We put all of the carts in one area, and then when you got done, you left it in another area, and that provided to be very helpful for us. And we literally operated like that for about 6 months. And we're now back to letting people back in the building. Our dining areas are open, but through it all, through our safety protocols, we never had a breakout in any one of our 3
kind of froze a little bit.
operations.
Oh, there he is.
You hear me okay?
Now you're back. You're back.
So fortunately, we never had any breakouts at any of our 3 locations, and we're still trying to manage it to make sure that everyone stays safe and stays healthy. Because the last thing that I want to do is pick up the telephone and have to talk to someone's family member and tell them that we're having a problem. So and I'm fortunate enough that my staff has taken on their own personal responsibility by managing this on their personal time and not bringing anything to the operation.
Nice.
Nice. It's been
Yes.
tough.
Very. Kendall.
Good stuff. Yeah.
So from our end, when this broke out, I was still in academia. So I was in a university setting. So we had to worry about the lives of young people. We have the whole university campus there. So when they sent us all home mid-February, and the governor said we're shutting down everything that's state related, everybody go home. It was scary, just like Kenny said. There was a ton of unknowns. We didn't know really what was going on. And then a couple weeks later, the governor shut down the golf courses. So, we got together a task force of PGA leaders here in Nevada, and we literally went and lobbied with the governor, explained a plan on how we can safely get back to business, right? And it was the same thing King talked about. We have a plan to put people in one area, just objects that they need to use in another area. Here's our cleaning protocols. Here are sneeze guards. Here's all of our PPE stuff that we have. And, we basically lobbied to the government, and they approved us to reopen about 4 or 5 weeks later. But it was difficult. It was scary because you saw a lot of people's livelihoods almost blow up, and it was fortunate, like for myself and Kenny, we were okay. We were protected with our job, but there's so many people that work for us or with us or around us that rely on that hourly check, that rely on going to work every day, that rely on, giving that lesson. And, so it was a time where we had to do some good self-reflection, had to figure out what do we do. And I would say that at least here in Nevada, we got through it pretty good. We pretty much stuck with the California protocol. So whatever California was doing, we were pretty much doing it too. So we were a lot stricter than some other states like Florida and Texas and Arizona. But to be fair, I think we need to be that way here in Nevada and Las Vegas. I mean, the moment we open up here in Las Vegas, case spike up because people travel from all over the place. I've been in the house. We just celebrate New Year's, right? I haven't left the house really. I know who all was in town. I need to protect myself and protect my family. So it just forced us to just have to be smart about what we do and think, and to change the way we do things. And some of it is for the good. some of it cut costs. We were able to cut a lot of costs and still get many people playing golf. Like I know we were talking about before we got on the air. The golf courses are full. I know Kenny's courses have been full for 2 years, for almost 2 years now. Like it feels like he hasn't gotten a break yet. He's able to charge prime time rates in off season. Like that's unheard of stuff right now. But demand is there now, so that's a benefit, right? From a terrible issue, we're seeing some benefits that have come from it, and that's just showing the tenacity that we have as a human, as just a culture, and we're able to get out there and we're able to make the best out of a mess, and so I think everybody's the same story. With it, we just have to figure it out, and we're still trying to figure it out. We still don't know.
It's a spike now. Trying to figure it out, and still keep people from going to the soup line so they can have a little money in their pocket. And it's tough. I'm a nurse. I've been dealing with COVID and working through COVID since day one. My first patient was from Wuhan. Still, that's how the beginning it was. She came in from Wuhan, China, on a plane. So how early it was. Nothing was locked down yet. We called the CDC. We had no test, nothing. We just sent her home, and they was like, tell her to quarantine, and we'll contact her personally. And that's all we did. It was so early in the game, and I've lost friends, and so I understand you fellas just trying to navigate this and keep the public safe. It's just tough. It's tough, but tough. Responsible heads and cooler heads prevail. And, we're all going to make it through this and keep it going, because a little bit of this, unfortunately, I think will be the new normal for a couple of years, and hopefully it'll wane down. But, mask is mask. Still get to play a little golf. Wear your mask and use your hand sanitizer. So easy. Right. We can enjoy life. And then if you think you ran across somebody that had the COVID, just quarantine yourself. Curb your own behavior. So you don't need anyone to tell you anything if you just curb your own behavior and do the right thing. You don't need no mandates. You don't do nothing. Just
man, good and well. Know good and well when them boys got that $5,000 skin pot. They got COVID. They still going. They going. They got all the symptoms tested positive. They still rolling out that 5,000.
They're still coming for skins. They're gonna kill everybody and take their skins. Oh,
everybody.
Lordy. Sif, any more questions?
Well, no, I just I've got some, and
the COVID.
The COVID issue. And the thing is, guys, I really appreciate that, because I know in the beginning set a benchmark to where we are now. So you can look back, and at first when it hit, nobody knew what was going on. It was almost like leprosy. And so now you kind of gauge, 2019 December, when it first came out, we didn't know what was going on. Now you kind of look back and say, okay, we may have been not overreacted, but at the same time, we can kind of loosen the reins for what we know now in terms of being outside and things of that nature. So somebody wanted to know that. So I appreciate that.
Nice.
Okay.
Let's Trish, you got something?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've seen a great increase, and again, Kenny, Kendall, thank you for being on. But we've seen a great increase in golf, over COVID. And so 1-2 years, a lot of people on the course, obviously. So do you see a significant increase of us on the course? And do you think that it'll continue trending? Or do you think this will be just a fade just because we have the COVID and it'll kind of die off? And if that's the case, what do we do to continue to increase the more of us on the course? Either one of y'all.
Well, I think that it's our responsibility as golf professionals to make sure that this is not just a fad, right? I think it's our responsibility to make sure that we are retaining these new customers, these unique customers, these customers that we've been dying to get to our facility. I believe that as PGA professionals, it is our utmost responsibility to make sure that we do that. And if we fail to do that, then that's on us and not on us only. With that being said, I do not believe it will be a fad as long as we do everything correctly. as long as we continue to be opening, welcoming, and have our doors open and continue to reach out and market to the individuals. And I believe it'll only grow more because now we're going to be able to have more word of mouth from individuals that we never had that word of mouth from in the communities, right? Where they say, "Well, I started playing golf during COVID, and I actually love it, and now let me go try it." So now we're going to be able to reach even more people that we never had before, and so we're going to have a much larger marketing reach. That's what I'm looking at now. To be fair, I'm not at a facility like Kenny is. I don't have facilities that I run directly like that. Yes, I have 600 plus properties that we manage and own, but I'm not there every day, right? So I'm coming up with big picture ideas and big picture programs to help everybody. So my vision is that this is how we should make things happen. So that's what we're going to do on our end as a company, and as an industry, obviously too. But I know Kenny probably has some personal insights from history properties, especially with your question about are you seeing what's the demographic of people that you're seeing. So.
Oh, his audio's out again. And he's a little frozen. We get that sometimes. We'll wait for him to come back. So we'll just keep it pushing. So, Kendall, you said you and Kenny's been in the trenches. You guys have been fighting wars and battles, getting this great game to as many people as possible. And so tell us a little bit about some of the great things you see in modern golf for us and some of the not so great things that we probably all could do some change in this game as far as participation, especially inclusion and diversity, equity. Give us the yin and the yang, if you would.
Well, the positives are that diversity, equity, and inclusion are at an all-time visible level. And at this moment, in all industries across the country, it's visible, and it's something that's a talking point that's important, that people are putting money behind, that individuals are seeing that it's actually important to do this, right? So that's a huge plus, right? And that is going to allow us, and when I say us, I mean the golf industry, to now be able to capitalize on developing programs, getting even further entrenched into different communities, become even more welcoming, figure out how to make the game more accessible, and all that kind of good stuff right there. So those are all really good things that we have been working on for years, right? For decades, right? All the way going back to when we got rid of the Caucasian only clause for PGA of America back in the 60s, to now. Like, so it's we've been fighting this battle for so many years, and just recently, with the untimely death of George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor and all these things that have shaken up our country, golf has been able to now open people's eyes to the inequities that are going on within our own industry. And because of that, now we're able to spread a message of positivity as well as a message of inclusion, so that now we can be able to make golf look like how America looks. And those are very positive things right there. Kenny will tell you, and as you know me better, I'm the most positive person in the world, so I rarely speak upon negative things because I think if you talk about something negative, it's going to happen. So for me, I'm always going to just focus on the positive. So to me, the only negative part is that we haven't accomplished all of our goals yet. That's it. Okay. But we're still working on them. And through shows like this and conversations with other people, and being able to be in these rooms with these decision makers that can, with the stroke of a pen, can change lives for entire industry and entire communities. To be able to have people in those rooms, whether it be Kenny or myself or the people that are in this fight with us, that's what we're looking at. The fact that Kenny and I, are are in rooms with people that you would think that we would never ever even be around. You know, we're talking about CEOs of companies and these people that are really running things on a positive level, and we're able to tell our story, like Kenny was saying, to say, hey, this is what we went through, and this is what we don't want our kids to go through or anybody else have to go through. So how do you truly fix this, right? To allow them to be able to start thinking, wow, okay, we didn't know that. So then at this point now their head's spinning. Now they wanted help because there's more good people in the world than there are bad.
Definitely.
And I know we spend a lot of time focusing on the bad, and the bad people are bad, and they should not get off the hook for being bad. But there's so much more positivity out here. This game is such a good game. We're trying to make it so much more inclusive. We have so many grassroots programs out there that are out there in the trenches, teaching these kids how to play golf, getting them started. Through We Are Golf and other golf foundations that we're a part of, we're giving out hundreds of thousands of dollars scholarships, to be able to fund these programs. There's so much good that's going out there, that. So I can't even focus on negative stuff because there's just so much positive stuff that we're doing and so much positive stuff that we have on board to do to continue to do.
Nice. Let's give that up too. Because I see, and I'm sure Kenny can speak to this too, because he runs facilities with our great golf boom emerging, and with both of you brothers, and we've talked to so many good people. I know we're gonna have. We don't want people to get priced out of this great game. And with supply and demand, sometimes the supply is getting shorter because of the demand. Because out in Cali, prices have gone up for the tee times. Premiums about 20% more at some courses. Our LA City courses are pretty much the same price, thank goodness. And we have a pretty great system of city courses. Kenny, could you speak to like the courses you run and the demand? And because the city courses have always been great and the prices have always been really, really reasonable and fair, so everyone could enjoy 18-hole round on a regulation course. How do you both of you? I know Kendall, you work for a private company and they have luxury courses, but Kenny, how do you see the pricing and demand out in Florida? And are we going to be priced out? Are some going to be priced out the market? Are there plans in place to always have a place for people with not so much money but that can play a round of golf?
First of all, can you hear me okay?
Perfect.
Okay, good. I switched devices, so maybe
That's all right.
iPad's just
We
not
work it
doing
out
it
on
today.
the show. Don't worry about it. We work it out.
All right, cool. That's a really tough question. It's something that we struggle with answering on a daily basis. So the golf operations that I manage have, for the first time in over 20 years, we were able to finish in the black for FY21. And make no mistake about it, the macroeconomics of it is what it precipitated that. The fact that people worked remotely. The golf was one of the few things that you could do safely. The fact that we didn't have to compete against movie theaters and restaurants and all of the things that people spent their disposable dollars on, definitely impact golf and impacted our operations significantly. Revenues are at an all-time high. In fact, just the month of December, we broke a record for a 10-year record for rounds played and for revenue. But we're still just barely above the red line of what's profitable, what's not profitable, and those operating deficits have always been funded by the taxpayers. So it's a delicate balance for us, when we talk about changing prices, and our one of our main goals is servicing the community. So we try to create programs for the local residents so that so golf can remain affordable. And we also service not just our residents. We also try to take care of seniors and kids, and whatever areas that we can participate. So since we live in a tourist state and a tourist area, that tourism has increased. For once the Buccaneers are playing good, so they fill up that Raymond James Stadium every Sunday. But the Lightning are successful, so there's a lot of people traveling to town to watch them play. We have the New York Yankees here in town, and we get the direct benefit of having a lot of tourists in the area. So the people that are traveling tend to have more disposable income, so they end up paying a portion of that, of helping fund those operating deficits. But it's clearly something that we have to keep our eye on, because we're owned by the city of Tampa. Our constituents are people that live in our area, so we try to do the best that we possibly can, but we have to keep in mind that we do want to at least be able to carry our own weight, and to not put any politician in a position to have to make a decision. Do you fund essential services, or do you spend the general funds on funding golf?
Yeah, that's not going to go over well, for sure. I know in Cali, or at least in LA City, maybe a year before COVID hit, we got an initiative so they could spend, each course could spend, I think $1.50 or $2 themselves for every green fee for the course. How they saw how the superintendent wanted to do the course, and immediately we saw about a 50% increase in the conditions. Greens were spectacular because they know their course. Yeah, it's maybe like a 12 or 13 course that's run by the city, but each individual course is its own animal, and each superintendent knows the course and knows the ins and outs. And by them being able to take a portion of that money instead of just using the general fund, because our courses are parks and recs, it all goes under parks and recs in LA. But each course got to use a couple of dollars from each green fee to do whatever they wanted to their courses. Extra fertilizer, maybe do another round of verification, whatever it is, bring in sand. But they use the money because we saw it, and the conditions was fabulous, and they've maintained it even with the increased number of rounds. So I know for sure your city, our city, you guys have always done a phenomenal job at keeping the everyday folk playing real courses with real conditions. And everyone can't have a country club membership or play even the daily fee courses that's $200 and $300. They can't do it. And I believe that we need all those courses. We need the daily fee courses, we need the country clubs, and we need the city courses. And each one plays a great role in the golf community. I just brought that up, not to say that we're going to price people out, but I think we're going to have to keep an eye on that overall, because with demand high prices, and that's fair. And like you said, it needs to fund itself, and it needs to be viable, and it needs to be, a great place and a great experience. And, we're not children. It takes money. It just takes money to do that. But and a smart brain to make sure all of that happen. Sif.
Yeah, man. Kendall, I was going to piggyback off of something that you said earlier about in your position, and about the positive things that you harp on, which anytime positivity presents itself, I'm always willing to sit down at the table, listen. However, we have to understand that diversity and inclusion in this era has been drummed up by negative things. Colin Kaepernick, If it were not for him, I don't think that some of these positions would be in place. It's almost like Abraham Lincoln, the Emancipation Proclamation. If Abraham said if he could keep the slaves as slaves and keep the Union, that's what he would have done. And so it's kind of the same thing here. I'm a great nephew of Charlie Sifford, so you know that I have a little
Awesome.
something with me as it relates to not being done right by America. So I think we can't. Sometimes we lose focus when we talk about diversity and inclusion. And some people have made it. I look at it as though if we all haven't made it, then we're still struggling. So I just didn't want to lose focus in that regard by not talking about some of the negative things, because some of the negative things have drummed up positions for diversity and inclusion.
And I couldn't agree more. And I could say from the core of me, I stand on the shoulders of Mr. Sifford and Mr. Elder and Miss Renee Powell, Dr. Renee Powell. If I would not be here if it was not for those individuals. Mr. Bill Powell, like these individuals literally blood, sweat, died, figured it out for us to be able to be where we are today. So that will never be, never go on. I don't go a day without thinking about that.
Right.
And I know Kenny's the same way. And before we start any mission, whatever Kenny and I are going to do, whether it's for PGA or for somebody else, we always have to figure out what's the genesis of what we're doing. Like, why are we doing this? Where's this coming from, right? And as an academic, I'm always about, okay, let me do my research to figure out what is actually happening here. I don't have to write a thesis on it, a dissertation on it yet, but let me figure out what I'm doing, why I'm doing it,
That's right.
who was affected, who's not affected, who might be affected,
Right.
And overthink it, do what I have to do to make sure that all bases are covered. So, no, 100%. I mean, this is, and that's probably where my positivity comes from, because I know where I came from, and I'm like, look, I'm just gonna make this thing better. Like, listen,
Right.
I'm not gonna waste the efforts of Mr. Sifford. I'm not gonna waste the efforts of Mr. Elder. I'm not gonna waste the efforts of Mr. Renee Powell, Mr. Bill Powell. I'm not gonna waste their efforts. Calvin P. I'm not gonna waste what they did. They did a lot for us. So I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like doesn't matter. No. I'm gonna make this thing better, because that's all they ever wanted, was for it to be better. So although they may not all be here to see it become better, we're gonna make this thing better. And it'll be my last dying breath, but I'm gonna still try to be making this game and this country better, because those individuals have fought so hard for us, and their families still fighting for us, obviously. So why? So I know I can speak for Kenny when I say that 100% is what drives us and what keeps us motivated when we're down. When we want to just say forget it. When we're put in positions to where we have to, make tough decisions and have tough conversations with people. Those are the memories that we think about. And then just this past year, when Kenny and I were able to celebrate with Dr. Elder, in Augusta, have a private celebration with him and his family. I mean, we've been able to do some really, really impactful things, but have some good conversations with these people, and be able to express how we feel about them. And it's a blessing, but definitely does not go. Though that's the foundation of who I am and why I have my position wouldn't have been created had Mr. Sifford not fought for what I did. I wouldn't be where I am today. Kenny wouldn't be here. None of us on call would be playing golf right now. It just wouldn't happen.
My man.
And I'm just, and I know Tricia has a question. I'm just grateful for you gentlemen, because it seems like we in good hands with y'all, man. I think we in really, really good hands. Like you said, you got the job at Troon because you gave a solution. You just didn't listen. They was asking questions. You was giving solutions, like, oh, since he's giving the solutions, let's bring him on board. He got solutions. Yeah. Solutions always beat complaining any day of the week. Okay, Trish.
Before we, end the call or jump off the call, I wanted to come back to Kenny. So he spoke about Rogers Park, and so he's over the 3 courses over here in Tampa. Now, Kenny, that record that y'all broke in December, I personally feel I took a part of that. Between my rounds and everybody that I've invited from the BGA to come down and play, I think I took a part of that. I'm just saying. I don't know. Run those numbers. Run those numbers. Run those numbers. But
I'm pulling up your playing history right now.
But what I wanted to do before we jumped off the phone, I wanted you to specifically, so you have Babe Sahara's, you have Rocky Point, and we have Rogers Park. I wanted
Yes.
you to give tell everybody about Rogers Park that doesn't know about Rogers Park, the history behind it, and where it's at right now.
Well, let me just start off by saying that Rogers Park is my favorite golf course in the entire world. And when I was a kid growing up, my dad's best friend, we called him Uncle Chuck, used to tell these really sexy stories about how he caddied at Rogers Park. And I mean, he had all kinds of names. He told me all kinds of characters. And I literally would just be engulfed with these tremendous stories about, all of these great golfers that came through Rogers Park. Lo and behold, a few years later, I become the head golf professional at this exact same place. Now, remember, he's telling me these stories while we're walking the fairways playing golf in New York City. And, little did I know that, he would just be, telling my story in advance. But Rogers Park at one time was one of the only 2 golf courses in the entire state of Florida that Black people could openly play.
Wow.
It was started in 1952 when golf pro Willie Black gathered a bunch of caddies and friends, and they built the golf course by hand. And the land was donated to the city by a Black businessman by the name of G.D. Rogers. So the history and the heritage at Rogers Park is very rich, and it is important legacy. It's one of the few remaining landmarks in the Black community in Tampa. So we go out of our way to make sure that all of the heroes that made Rogers Park, the place that it is. We honor those people, and we remind everyone of our story. And it's my favorite golf course in the entire world because of that. But it just so happens to be, have a great layout. It's hidden on 3 sides by the Hillsborough River. It serves a very diverse community. We happen to host the #1 junior golf program in the United States.
Wow.
In 2020, we hosted over 90,000 kids through our junior golf program through First Tee at Tampa Bay. Yeah, the program was started in 1992 by Dr. Michael Cooper, who's has been my mentor since the early 80s, when he was the head golf professional at Rogers Park. And he hired me to wash carts. And, so Rogers Park is a special place for many. Lee Elder spent time there. In fact, he won a UGA event at Rogers Park. Charlie Sifford, it was his winter. It was one of his winter stops every year. Because of the fact that there were very few golf courses during the Jim Crow era that were open to Blacks. It wasn't uncommon for a lot of celebrities or now famous golf professionals to come through Rogers Park. It was the winter home for Larry Doby, who was the second player, second Black player to join Major League Baseball, just a couple of months behind Jackie Robinson. It was also the home to Jackie Robinson and a lot of famous entertainers at the time. So, I was fortunate enough to have a relationship with Mr. Sifford. We've actually had dinner a couple of times. Back when he was playing a senior tour, there was a stop in Tampa, and he always hung his hat at Rogers Park. So I also had a couple other mentors that golf pros well before the blacks were even allowed to be PGA members. One named Herman Du Bois and another named Jimmy Taylor. And these guys were phenomenal golfers. Both of them were tournament winners on UGA, and they introduced me to so many uh, legends. Lefty Brown, Bobby Strobel, Jim Dent, Zeke Hartfield. Y'all need to look that name up, Zeke Hartfield. He was an amazing individual. In fact, he's known among the UGA as one of the best putters ever. In fact, he worked as a locker room attendant for Westchester Country Club, where Claude Harmon's father was the head golf professional, and they had nothing but great things to say about him. But he was also a multiple winner on UGA, and the list just goes on. James Black, he hangs. In fact, I saw talking to his son today, Norman Black, who's trying to carve his way on the Advocates Professional Golf Tour. So the list goes on. All of the Thorpe brothers have been through Rogers Park. Even Harold Varner has come through to play on Advocates Tour event at Rogers Park. So the history is there, and it's such an honor to be the one that just kind of carries the torch towards and providing opportunities for the next generation of black golf.
And Bobby Strobel was
Let's give it
a
up.
beast.
Like I said, we in good hands with y'all. Thank God, we're in good hands with your thinking and your works. Sif.
Hey, Bobby, he mentioned Bobby Strobel. Bobby Strobel was a beast. I mean, he was a flat out beast, man. I mean, he could two-iron. Ain't ever seen somebody hit a 2-iron as far as he hit a 2-iron. It was just crazy, man. He was and some of the guys that he just named was I remember. So I mean, that was the who's who that was coming through your place, man. Black, I know Black, I don't know if Black's recuperating. No, he wasn't doing too well. He's here in Charlotte. But yeah. You're a Bronco, man, so you got to know Andre Springs.
Oh, yes, Coach Springs.
That's my man.
Coach Springs.
Yeah, Coach will tell you. He'll tell you he'll give you play-by-play. See, Sifford, I was over here and that put curve down. But Dre's been a mentor of mine for a long time, man. He's a real good guy.
So I'll tell you, Kenny's not only a Bronco, but he's also a member of the Hall of Fame, Fayetteville State Athletic Hall of Fame too.
Man,
Come on, let's get it up now.
Hey, that's awesome, man. Because the way Dre says, you would think he was the only person that been inducted to the Hall of Fame in Fayetteville.
The school's over 100 years old. Only 3 golfers, and
wow.
Andre was the first. Yep.
That's crazy, man. Unbelievable. Well, one question I have for the both of you guys, I guess my parting question would be, what business? I'm sorry. Try to write this stuff down, man. Sorry. Oh yeah. With all that you've accomplished, what has served as your source of motivation?
Oh wow.
Wow.
I would say helping other black people enter into the golf industry has always been one of my major drivers. I go out of my way to make sure every time I've got a job position open that I have a diverse candidate pool. I'm trying to connect, as many dots as I possibly can in the and fixing the pipeline from junior golf directly into the golf industry. And those are the things that drive me. And the legacy of the game and the people that I've met along the way are the reminders of just how important my responsibility and how important my job is to make that happen.
Awesome, great.
Nice.
What about you, Kendall?
I mean, it's fairly similar to Kenny. My motivating goal has always been to grow the game and to make the game and to make the next generation or people not have felt anything that I've ever felt, right? And I'm sure that's what Kenny said, and that's the reason why I didn't feel half of what he's gone through, growing up and doing stuff. So my goal has always just been to grow this game and to get not only black people, but brown, yellow, just people playing, but definitely get into our communities and make sure that we have the ability to do it. If we choose not to, that's fine. But just
Right.
I want to have the access. So my driving force is give you the access, give you the access to the jobs, the access to the facilities, access to the equipment, the access just to the knowledge of this great game in this industry. I mean, we're talking about an $82 billion a year industry. Like this an industry that there is a lot that you can do with this industry from all different levels. You can do it from the tech side, from the playing side, from the management side, and everything in between there, from instruction too. So, and it's always driven me just to look back at the history of the game, like we talked about earlier, to look at where we've come from and what people have gone through, and how this game has morphed and developed into something that today is more palatable. That's a motivating factor for me, and I think that's why Kenny and I get along so well, and he's my mentor because we pretty much think the same way. So it's our driving forces are right there, and that's what's going to continue to propel this game long after we're gone.
Good
Beautiful
stuff, man.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's just a treat to have you brothers on, and like you said, so many people have given so much for us to be to be able to enjoy this game. And when people start playing this game and get involved in this game, you always say, wow, how come I didn't start earlier? This is, and then you look out into the world, and then you're like, there's more than half the people I personally know don't even know what a great game this is. Like, you want to preach it from the rooftops. Like, I promise you, this game will take you many, many places that you didn't think you would ever travel. And the journey
Absolutely.
itself, even for a personal journey, will take you mentally places that you wouldn't think your mind would take you. And just trying to get that into people is so hard, or you want them to get it. They got to get it on their own, but like you gentlemen do, at least you done set the table for them. So it's on them if they don't come and get a piece of that steak, because you gentlemen every day are setting the table. Thank you again for what you guys are doing. Like I said, I'm gonna say it a third time. We in good hands, Sif. We in good hands, Tricia. These gentlemen is on it, have been on it, and continually to be on it. We always let the lady have the final word if she has one. Trish, parting words before I guess get to have
Parting
their
words.
words.
So first, I want to thank both of y'all for coming on. Kenny, I just wanted to also, mention that we have the Monday before the show that we want to give thanks to Kenny that he's taken a part of helping us with that. And what that Monday before the show is we're trying to get the African American women out at Rogers Park. We have a tournament that's going to be on the 24th at Rogers Park. So the LPJ is going to be sponsoring the lunch. The Tampa Sports Authority is helping with this all. And so this is another, opportunity to show where we're trying to bring more of us here, bring us out there to Rogers Park, get the ladies out there, network and, and continue to grow the game, not just for the us, but for the us and the women also in the game of golf. So Kenny, special thanks. Kendall, again, thank you so much for everything that you're doing. And that's all I have. Thank y'all so much for coming on.
All right. Kendall, Kenny, anything? We always say your family once you've been on the show. Anything you need to get off your chest, any events, anything you got going, anything Troon got going. I'm just so happy that great organization picked a fine brother like Kendall. They have great. I played. What did I play? I played some Troon classic course in Palm Springs. Beautiful course, well ran. Any parting words from you fellas? Want to get anything out there, or just say a shout out to whoever?
Go ahead, Kenny.
I think you're doing a phenomenal job on the show. I'm truly impressed with the topics that you've been discussing, and the way you're growing the game. This is exactly what ties into our Kendall and I's mission in growing the game, and exposing the best parts of the game to our community. So thank you.
Thank you for thanking us. Kendall.
Again, Kenny and I pretty much echo the same sentiments together.
Right.
Great. This is a great platform that you all are using in the correct way. So I want to thank you all for doing that, because we all have a platform, right? And some of us, you can use it one good way, or we can use it negative way. You all are doing it great. You're getting a good message out there. So keep up the hard work. Obviously, it goes without saying, if I can do anything for anybody on this, physically that I'm seeing right now, or anybody listening, feel free to reach out to myself. My main goal is to grow this game of golf, is to diversify it. So I have tons of jobs that I'm trying to get filled, and I want to fill them with people of color, just to be blunt.
That's right.
And women, So at the end of the day, Kenny does too. So
ain't nothing wrong with that. And we always will put your social media stuff in the liner notes. Thank you guys. Yeah, we just want to have highlights and have a responsible voice for you responsible people that's doing the hard work in the trenches to come on and get whatever you need to get off to the people live. They can ask questions. So many times people want entertainment, and they want some dancing, or they want some singing. How about some talking with some real folks that's been professionals, that's been in the trenches for years and years, that's been an academic. That's what we want to highlight. We want to highlight you guys. We want to bring voices that would normally probably never hear all that great history we just learned about Rogers Park. It's comments all in the chat. Like, I didn't know. I heard Rogers Park. I've even played at Rogers Park. I didn't know the rich history of Rogers Park. And
Kenny, I be trying to tell them.
Hey, each one teach one. A few learned tonight. A few more is going to tell some more people, and so on and so forth. So dope. Let's go. Andre Lacey II. Thanks, Kenny and Kendall, for your continued service, especially the help that you both have extended to me personally. We had him on the show, Andre Lacey, just a great young man, comes from golf royalty. Marty's in the house. Great show. Looking forward to Rogers Park in a few weeks. How you doing, Marty Potts? Love you much. So yeah, that's what we try to do. Bring people on, bring people in the chat. And again, we ain't going to take up too much more of your time. Matter of fact, we're going to end it because I know you gentlemen are busy. I'm on the West Coast. I think Kendall's with me. It's a little early for us, but our East Coast people over there, they got bedtimes. And with that said, we are out. Thanks again. You guys are more than welcome. Anything you need to get out, anything you need to put on our Facebook, our IG, our social media is done. Your family. And again, thank you. Let's give that a round up. And some air horns. And again, thanks a million. Where's my outro?
Yay.
Right.
Thank y'all so much.
Good
Thank
job,
you
fellas.
guys so
Appreciate you.
much. We appreciate
That was
all the
good.